Okay, so what I've got here is just some really strong insulation board that I picked up at Lowe's. And that's what I'm going to use to make the letters for my sign. As you can see, I made some sample cuts there. And then this is some just premium underlay type paneling. As you see, it's 1/4 inch. It's not too thick, but I'm going to use that for the backing for the lettering. So I'll primer and paint that. I'll cut out the letters from here and then I'll mount them to it when they're done. And the way I'm going to do that is, that's my Dremel router. And I'll use that to cut the letters out, and I'll use this to put the letters on the board. Just an old school overhead projector. You can go up to, Kinko's or Staples or your local copy place and they can make the overlays for you, and then basically use that to project the image of the L1 games over onto the insulation board, and I'll trace it out. So let's take a look at that process. And that's what it looks like when it's being projected, and there's the letters that are traced. And then when we hit the light, and you can see it's traced on there real good. And now we'll just run the Dremel along that line, and each letter will come out. Then after that, we go to sanding the letters down. So here's the finished traced L1 for the big L1 logo part of the sign. It's really pretty cool, and as I'll demonstrate to you here in 1 second, when I turn this off, you'll just see the trace version, which is what I'm going to route out. So take a look at that. And there it is. So with this all done, I just hit it with the router, and when it's done, it'll look something like this, which gets sanded, primered, painted, then applied to the underlay, which will make one big sign. Then I'm going to take the games written under level 1, and I'm going to hand paint it because I think that's going to look better. So, yeah. And this is going to be the back for the letters. So I'm going to do 2 coats of primer on it. This is a heavy, like a high bonding primer, so it's going to really stick to the wood really well. It's going to soak up some of it, so it'll get a second coat, and it'll be a nice bright white. And I'm not even going to bother putting another coat of paint over it. I'm just going to go with the primer, then put the letters on top of that, and it's going to look really sharp. So just roll that right on. So this will be the first coat, and then after this dries, I'll hit it with a second coat, just to be sure. And then we'll be ready to go. There's all the letters cut out. Other L1. These have been sanded, and now I'm going to primer them, paint them, have them ready to go on here. That's at its second coat now. So now I'm just waiting for that to dry, and I'm gonna start primering and painting those and watching a good movie. That's the plan, at least. And here's everything with its second coat of primer. Really seems like it's been soaking up the primer, so I may actually do a third coat. So. And right here I had a pretty good nick. So as you can see, I filled it there, and that's just like basic spackle, and it goes on pink, but it dries white. So after it dries, it'll match, and then I'll give it a little bit of a sand, and you can see how deep that went. And once I sand it down a little bit, it's going to be smooth again. Then I want to get that nick right there. Actually, I might do that right now, but that's how I'm going to smooth that out and make it look like that one. A little choppy on there. And there we are with most of the black paint done. So got to do the inside of that one and the edges. It's looking pretty good so far. So there's the finished letters and the backdrop that they'll go on. And while I've been doing this, I entertain myself by watching Last Hurrah for Chivalry. Oh yeah. So those are drying right now. They're just about done. And the separate L1 is drying. And then I'm going to pack everything up and take it to the store to get ready to put up. I've been working on this since probably about 4:30 yesterday, and it is now 4:30 the next day. So of course I slept in between, but I probably put a good solid 10 hours of work into this. But I think it's worth it when it comes right down to it. It seemed like it went pretty fast watching the video, I'm sure, but this is a lot of work. That said, I took about $160 and made 2 signs that combined probably would have cost me about $800 if I'd had a sign company do it. Got everything packed up and ready to go. I'll take it all to the store and hang it.